UN 영어놀이 How Shrinking perpetuates Hollywood's most sexist cliché. The Apple TV Plus series is the latest screen hit to use a dead family member or romantic partner as a narrative driver for its male hero. When will this crass trope end? Asks Ralph Jones. Some things never change when shrinking. Ted Lasso creator Bill Lawrence's new comedy drama starring Jason Segel launched on Apple TV Plus in January. It was immediately apparent that the show was guilty of one of the most quietly toxic tropes in entertainment. From the off, Segel's therapist character, Jimmy, was defined by the loss of his wife, beautiful in death, and only ever available in flashback form. Tia is deprived of any agency. We know that her narrative purpose is solely to die, and her existence is only important insofar as it affects our brave male protagonist. The temptation to give male characters female relatives or love interests who are either already dead or die as a plot driver is seemingly irresistible for countless writers, the vast majority of whom are male. Once you are aware of this phenomenon, you realize how pervasive it is. I am currently reading a novel narrated by a man grieving over a woman we never met before her death. While researching this feature, I saw the new Adam Driver film 65, in which Driver's character crash lands on Earth 65 million years ago. The reason he's in his spaceship in the first place is, lo and behold, because he has a terminally ill daughter who, spoiler alert, dies during the film. New Adam Driver film 65 is another example of a work in which the death of a female character, in this case his daughter, is used as an empty plot device. Why do male writers in TV, film, and literature continue to engage in this trope? What does it tell us about the gender dynamics in fiction? And is there any hope on the horizon that it may be consigned to the creative dustbin? E.G. Austin is a film writer doing a PhD that examines revenge in teen movies at Swinburne University, Australia. Before refining their subject for why they were looking into revenge films more generally, and have therefore had to see through a great many works that are guilty of indulging this sexist phenomenon, commonly known as freezing. There are so many films where they just introduce a wife in one scene and then kill her immediately. They say, citing the infamous Death Wish franchise, in which Charles Bronson becomes a vigilante after his wife is murdered, as particularly egregious. It's insulting to the female characters because their only function is how they make other characters feel, and then it's insulting to the male characters because they don't actually get to feel anything new. The origins of freezing. It was in 1999 that comic book writer Gail Simon first gave a name to the trope, coining the term "women in refrigerators syndrome" to refer to a trend she noticed in superhero stories for female characters being killed off to provide motivation for the male protagonist. The turn of phrase was inspired by a 1994 Green Lantern story, in which the Green Lantern discovers that his girlfriend has been killed and stuffed into a fridge, and as Austin puts it, dead wife make man sad, man process sad by doing violence. If this trope has only been given a name in the last few decades, it has been conspicuous through the whole story of storytelling. These are narratives that extend way back, says Dr. Miriam Kent, lecturer in film and media at the University of Leeds and author of Women in Marvel Films. A fairy tale like Sleeping Beauty, which dates back to the 16th century, involves a comatose princess who must be rescued by a prince. These notions of female sublimation and male agency have always pervaded Western literature, and in recent centuries, TV and film. In the 1970s, literature professor Joseph Campbell's seminal book, The Hero's Journey, set out the structure for a classic caste narrative, which generally involved a masculine hero and a princess, says Kent, and his storytelling theory went on to inform films like Star Wars. The idea is that these are structures that are so ingrained within Western cultures and Western societies that they are almost unconscious, she says. So unconscious are they, in fact, that many Hollywood writers are unaware of deploying them. After 2018's Deadpool 2 attracted criticism for having Deadpool's girlfriend Vanessa murdered at the beginning of the film, an example of freezing made worse by the fact that Deadpool's appeal is that he is aware of the comic book world in which he exists. One of the writers, Brett Reese, said that he didn't know the world existed. Reese and writer partner Paul Warnick declined the invitation to be interviewed for this piece. Fans were so incensed by Vanessa's death during test screenings instantly that an alternate ending was shot and added post-credits, in which Deadpool travels back in time and saves her. Deadpool 2 was heavily criticized for freezing the character of Deadpool's girlfriend, Vanessa, played by Morena Baccarin. Scott Beck and Brian Wood, who wrote and directed 65, were similarly oblivious to the trope. The attempt was to do a modern-day silent film with hardly any dialogue, so we are not reliant on exposition and backstory. Wood tells BBC culture by way of explaining their narrative choice with the death of the protagonist's daughter. The exercise was one of minimalism and attempting to tell a story where you could push the mute button and it plays the same in any part of the world, and it can be digestible. So we are painting in pretty broad strokes with this film. Broad strokes is right. I'm not sure if it's lazy necessarily, but I do think there is something to be said about the way in which screen actors are trained, says Kent. A lot of the time they will be trained by industry professionals who will also be men working within that particular culture. Christine Devin is a writer and fertility coach who finds freezing so frustrating that she wrote a short story subverting it, in which a woman actually gains superpowers from being stuck in a freeze. The idea derived from her anger at encountering the unreconstructed trope so often. It annoys me at times to the brink of rage. Firstly, because it's dreadfully boring and I hate being bored. And secondly, because it cannot be divorced from the greater context in which violence against women is endemic. Being fed a steady fictional diet of a woman as a disposable victim in a world already full of it inures all of us to the reality of sex-based violence. What critics of the practice are not saying is that male characters shouldn't be widowers. The death of a loved one is a strong motivating factor for people, says David. Uncle Ben's death in Spider-Man, Obi-Wan's death in Star Wars, but these characters weren't created only to die. They had important lessons to impart and tasks to fulfill before they did. They needed to exist as fundamental to the story, and their lives mattered far beyond their demise, subverting the cliché. She and Austin both cite the original John Wick film as an example of how featuring a deceased female partner or family member may be done in a way that doesn't feel exploitative. Though the 2014 Keanu Reeves action vehicle falls into the trap of soft focus beachy flashbacks. John Wick's late wife, Helen, is a more richly drawn character than most equivalents, and while it may be a revenge thriller, the inciting incident in the film is dead. Week's dog, a gift from Helen before her death from a terminal illness, is killed, so you don't meet the wife in the present tense, says Austen, but you feel her character through her understanding that her husband is going to need somewhere to put his energy. Similarly, we never meet the dead wife of Robin Williams' psychologist Sean McGuire in Good Will Hunting, but her and McGuire's relationship comes alive on screen through McGuire's words. That film offers a much more honest acknowledgement of people have partners. Their partners were special to them, and now they are gone. How do you continue after this point? Says Austen. Austen also cites the 2015 video game Fallout 4 as an example of a work undercutting the trope. The game allows the player to choose to be either a female or a male character whose spouse is killed and whose son is kidnapped. The gameplay isn't perfect. Austen points out that the creators may not have realized that a woman and a man might not respond to the situation in the same way, but it signals that creators might be getting savvy to avoiding this misogynistic cliché. In a twist on the formula, No Time to Die killed off Bond himself, not his female companion, Madeleine Swan. Other rays of hope have appeared in the gradually shifting gender dynamics of superhero adaptations, a form so commercially enormous that it may be capable of changing the narrative. Vast corporations like Marvel and Disney know that there are female audiences watching their content, says Kent, and are beginning to change their behavior, whether cynically or otherwise, by creating more female heroes like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, and less female victims. In the 2022 Disney Plus series She-Hulk, the main character addresses the viewer and wonders whether the twist in the episode is that she might be freezed. No, of course she isn't. And thinking of another blockbuster franchise, in the last Bond film, No Time to Die, we see the death of 007, but not his love interest, Madeleine Swan. I think there's definitely been a shift in terms of popular discussions of these issues, says Kent. No one is pretending that freezing is a thing of the past. The fact that it's still happening in a fairly straightforward way suggests that there's not been much movement, says Kent. Shrieking's success proves that audiences can easily overlook it, but at the same time, the groundswell of opinion against it is rising. As Devin says, fiction should inspire us to higher things. she says, or help us explore realities that are uncomfortable. Breathing accomplishes neither purpose. Shrinking Season 1 continues to air weekly on Apple TV Plus.